WrestleTalk!
I'm Oli Davis, this is the WrestleTalk news. After over 9 months on the naughty step, CM Punk made his AEW return on the debut episode of Collision on Saturday night. With all that time away, to help him forgive, mend that bitter heart, Punk opened the show and immediately cut a promo on how he's the only real star, the Young Bucks are phony, and anyone who supports them is SAWFT. Soft. But as divisive as Punk is, with our live reactions poll only just in favour of AEW bringing him back at 57 to 43%, there are far more controversial wrestling figures out there. Because apparently WWE were trying to bring back Velveteen Dream last year, presumably trying to take the heat off WWE founder and chairman Vince McMahon getting pushed out of the company due to mounting sexual misconduct allegations. It's been reported they were very close to bringing in disgraced former NXT star Velveteen Dream, whose past issues include being accused of sending indecent images to underage boys, allegations Velveteen Dream, real name Patrick Clark, denies. More accusations 2 months after, which WWE reportedly investigated and found no evidence of wrongdoing, being arrested twice in August 2022 for first-degree battery, trespassing on property, and possession of drug paraphernalia. The first 2 charges were dropped after a month, being accused by EC3 of highly inappropriate behaviour at a house party, to which Dream accused EC3 of taking drugs, and reports that Dream was quietly suspended for using drugs during his last year in NXT. After months of the hashtag Fire Velveteen Dream trending every time he was on NXT, WWE eventually released him in May 2021. According to the Twitter account BWE though, who has frequently been correct breaking stories over the last few months, WWE was so effing close to bringing Dream back last year. Presumably Dream's arrests in August put a stop to that. This is me speculating here, but you would presume that was a Triple H idea to bring Dream back in. He was one of Hunter's favourite stars when he was in charge of NXT, and it lines up with the run of released wrestler rehires Triple H made when he took over main roster WWE following Vince's removal running creative. That could have been a very different alternate timeline, where rather than us all praising Triple H's logical, long-term approach to booking, the conversation could have been dominated by Dream's controversial return. Speaking of controversial return segue, as I mentioned at the top of this video, CM Punk made his AEW return on the debut episode of Collision on Saturday. Hooray! He's my favourite! And he did so by picking up right where he left off, crapping on the Bucks and other AEW stars he deems unprofessional, soft children who get their feelings hurt easy. Not like a guy who stews over one Hangman Page promo line for 4 months and then publicly embarrasses the company sitting next to the owner. The big direct shot in the Elite's direction was Punk talking about how he draws real money, not like counterfeit bucks. A very obvious barb at Matt and Nick Jackson's Young Bucks. But the distraction on that line has distracted somewhat from what he said just before, that David Zaslav calls Punk One Bill Phil. Thankfully, Dave Meltzer has expanded on this, so I confusingly thought Punk was referring to himself as a $1 bill, which is uncharacteristically humble. The line in fact meant $1 bill Ian Phil, which is likely a reference to reports last month that AEW had signed a $1 billion deal, with Warner Bros. Discovery, of which David Zaslav is the head. It would be a very interesting reveal, as AEW have been very quiet on their future TV rights fees negotiations. Originally, it was thought the announcement of Collision meant Warner Bros. Had committed to the long-term leveling up of AEW next week in Winnipeg, similar to the insanely profitable 5-year, $1 billion deals Nick Khan had negotiated on behalf of WWE with Fox and Peacock. But then nothing was ever announced. Perhaps it was just another example of Punk using the so-called dirt sheets material in his promos. The same dirt sheets he keeps saying are ruining the industry. Nevertheless, the $1 bill Phil and counterfeit Bucks lines were approved by management. Hopefully meaning the Elite are open to working with Punk down the line, as it was a fantastic promo if they're building that feud. But don't expect it to happen anytime soon. AEW are sticking around in Chicago for Wednesday night's episode of Dynamite. And according to Fightful Select, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks are out, while CM Punk is in. Punk is booked for the Wednesday 21st of June episode, which makes perfect sense as it's in Chicago just 4 days after his return at Collision. And it gives a chance to set up a Forbidden Door opponent for him, which is taking place this Sunday. Oh my god, I can't wait. Omega and the Bucks, meanwhile, will only appear on Dynamite in the form of pre-tape segments and aren't expected to be physically live on the show or backstage. This could be to protect them from the pro-Punk Chicago crowd booing them, or from Punk and his dog Larry behind the scenes. Oh, and on that Punk Forbidden Door opponent, looks like it won't be that dream match from Kenta, the original inventor of Punk's go-to-sleep finisher, who tweeted following Saturday's Collision, "Kenta versus Punk is never gonna happen." This follows Fightful's report that Punk versus Kenta was the planned direction for Forbidden Door, but Punk wasn't thrilled about the idea. Kenta has responded to that report. He also wasn't thrilled, and that he was so pissed that they planned our match without my permission. This is my personal feud. This is my personal feud, title of CM Punk's next AEW spin-off show. Kenta has publicly maintained for years that he genuinely does not like Punk, and does not like the fact he uses his go-to-sleep move. There is always the possibility it's a worky McWorkface, much-loved brother HH Kiss, and we'll see Kenta take out Punk on Dynamite. Another person who won't be around at AEW shows is CM Punk's buddy, a new work-from-home enthusiast, Ace Steel. AEW brought in Steel as a producer to work with his longtime friend Punk last summer, and fired him reportedly due to his role in the post-all-out backstage fight with the Elite. But Punk seemingly made Steel's return a precondition of his own comeback, derailing AEW's original Collision announcement last month. Punk wanted Steel physically at the shows with him, whereas AEW wanted him to produce remotely. It seems there's been a rare CM Punk concession, as Fightful writes Steel wasn't backstage at Collision, and he's not expected to be at any upcoming shows in person. He will still be heavily involved in helping Punk's creative direction though. But now it's the time all you and I have been waiting for. Collision has debuted. Punk has appeared on screen, not just cutting a promo, but also wrestling an in-ring match. He'll reportedly be at Dynamite again on Wednesday. But if we've learned one thing over the last 9 months, it's never to rule out Punk suddenly deciding he doesn't want to do something anymore. Which is why we haven't officially declared CM Punk's wrestling return until our man on the ground, WrestleTalk CM Punk return correspondent Brian Children, has officially confirmed it himself. Brian has been working tirelessly for 2 months, becoming estranged from his wife and 2 children, developing a gambling addiction and falling heavily into debt. All so we can be the premier wrestling news outlet in the world. So without further ado, it's time. Brian Children, has CM Punk returned to AEW?
Nope, he hasn't.
What do you mean he hasn't?
I've been keeping an eye out for him all day. Not a peep.
Brian, he was in the main event of Collision.
You must be mistaken. I'm here in his hometown of New York. Not seen him all day.
What? Why did you just say hometown of New York?
Yep, that is where he's from, Ollie.
He's from Chicago, Brian. He's famously from Chicago. That's why Collision was held in the United Center.
I'm pretty sure he's from New York.
No! He's from Chicago! And that's not even New York! That's a London stadium, Brian!
Nope, that is the famous Madison Square Garden Arena, Ollie.
Brian, are you f***ing kidding me? It says West Ham on the stadium! What have you been doing this whole time? I told you to look for CM Punk and to tell us when he's back!
And I have been. I've been looking high and low, far and wide.
Brian, tell me honestly. Have you been looking for CM Punk?
Yeah, yes, of course I have.
Brian, don't lie to me. Have you been looking for CM Punk?
Yes, I've been looking for him. I've even got a picture. See?
Oh, God. That's not CM Punk.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, Brian, that's not CM Punk. That's Terry Funk. You've been looking for Terry Funk this whole time.
Terry Funk, confirmed to be returning here at the London Stadium.
No, Brian, you've ruined the news. You've ruined my special news. CM Punk returned to like once every 2 years. It's my favourite thing to do, Brian, and you've just ruined it. Brian, you are fired.
Oh!
For f***'s sake! Oh my God! Jesus Christ! The ticking time bomb of CM Punk and the Elite can definitely be kicked down the road while we hope it's all going to be okay, and in the immediate term, it really is, as Collision was fantastic, and according to PW Insider, everyone backstage in AEW was very positive about the production, specifically about making the show look and feel different to Dynamite, with Elton John's banging opening theme, a great new stage, and something I genuinely popped more for than Punk's return, my favourite announcer of all time, Kevin Kelly, being the lead play-by-play commentator. He joins the also excellent Nigel McGuinness, but not for long. Kevin Kelly, not to be confused with former Divas champion Kelly, shown here, this image totally clears that confusion up, is also the lead English language commentator for New Japan, which means he'll be taking a G1 Climax-length hiatus from Collision next month to commentate on the New Japan tournament. It's currently unknown who will fill in for him, and it sadly probably won't be Jim Ross, who had a bad fall the day of Collision's debut. In an admirable show must go on spirit, JR still joined commentary for the main event as planned, but he sounded noticeably gruff. He has since taken to Twitter to apologise for how he sounded, noting he'll be taking time off to heal up. As a quick roundup of other AEW developments, Bandido broke his wrist while wrestling Takeshita on the 16th of June episode of Rampage, where it's feared he might need surgery. There's uncertainty over AEW star Rush's future, whose speculated one-year deal could be expiring soon, who recently quit AEW's partner promotion AAA, and yesterday debuted a new baby. On Father's Day, no less. Appropriate. And there's excitement former NXT star and indie legend Chris Hero could be joining AEW soon, as he was backstage at Collision. Fightful claims he'll work in a behind-the-scenes capacity on a trial basis. Now go watch our video of 9 wrestling belts that need redesigning.
Asuka's got a new title, Rhea's got a new title, the women's tag belts are being unified, it's Beltermania! But with all these redesigns happening, it got me thinking, what are some of the other wrestling belts that could do with a facelift? What belts have been overlooked for too long or simply don't match up with the sort of quality we expect? And which ones just look like I'm not Adam Blompier, and here are 9 wrestling